She said she was waiting for someone better. So I chose her sister instead. So her mom asked why we still weren't engaged. Haley's answer? I'm not ready to close any doors yet. What if someone better comes along? But before I dive into all that, let me say this. I've noticed the channel's been slowing down a bit lately. If you're here and you like these stories, hitting that subscribe button is the easiest way to show support. It's fast, it's free, and it really helps keep this community growing strong. I was walking upstairs with a few bags of groceries when I caught that little gem. I didn't say a word. Just left the bags inside her house, set my key down on the counter, and walked out. Turned out someone better did come along, her sister. That all went down about a year ago, but it's only recently that I've been able to talk about it without getting fired up. So buckle up, this story's a ride. I'm 33 now. Haley was 30 when we were dating. We'd been together a little over 3 years. Met at a brewery opening through mutual friends and hit it off right away. She was sharp, funny, had her act together. I remember thinking I'd really scored. We didn't officially live together, but we might as well have. We both had our own places, but I was at hers most of the week, 4 or 5 nights at least, since it was closer to both our jobs. I kept some stuff there, clothes, toiletries, the basics. She had a drawer at my place too, and we exchanged keys a while back. Like I said, not roommates, but close enough. Fast forward to last December, and things were getting serious. We'd met each other's families, stayed at each other's places almost every night, and had more than a few of those. What does the future look like talks? I was planning to propose sometime in the spring. Haley's family lived about an hour outside the city. Her mom, Diana, was a bit nosy but always treated me decently. Her younger sister Lena, she was 27, had this outdoorsy, no BS vibe. She worked as a personal trainer and was always down for a solid chat. I'd seen Lena at family get-togethers a bunch of times, but we'd never spent time one-on-one. After their dad passed when they were teenagers, it was just the 3 of them, and they were pretty tight. That weekend we were staying at Diana's place for her birthday. Haley was cooking something special and realized she forgot a few ingredients. I offered to run out and grab them. It was snowing, and the closest halfway decent grocery store was about 15 minutes away. I spent close to 40 minutes getting everything on her list. Even grabbed some flowers for Diana. Figured it was a nice touch for her birthday. Pulled back into the driveway with 4 bags in hand. Their house has one of those odd split-level setups. You come in through the garage, take a few steps up, and you're in the kitchen. The living room's right off the kitchen, no walls or anything in between. I just stepped inside and was halfway up the stairs when I heard Diana's voice. So when's Ethan going to propose? You guys have been together forever. I stopped right there, not to snoop, just genuinely curious how Haley would answer. Oh my God, Mom, not this again. What? You're not getting any younger. He's a good guy. Steady job, knows how to handle money, treats you right. Yeah, sure, Haley said. That's all fine. But. And then came the part that knocked the wind out of me. I'm not ready to shut any doors, you know? What if someone better shows up? Ethan's a good man, but I don't know if he's the guy. I stood frozen on the steps. Suddenly, those grocery bags felt like they were filled with concrete. Diana didn't sugarcoat her reaction. That's a horrible way to think, Haley. People aren't placeholders. I'm not saying he's a backup, Haley mumbled. I don't know. He's safe. Dependable. But sometimes I wonder if there's more excitement out there. That was enough for me. I walked up the last few steps, set the grocery bags gently on the counter, placed the flowers next to them, still in their wrapping, with the little birthday card clipped on. Took the key to Haley's place off my key ring, the one I always kept separate, and left it on the counter. Then I turned around, went back down the stairs, got in my car, and drove off. Ended up at a hotel about 20 minutes away. Still hadn't said a word. 20 minutes later, my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. First texts, then calls. Where are you? Did you seriously just leave the groceries and bounce? What's going on? Why aren't you answering? I texted back one time. After what I heard you say to your mom, we're done. I'll swing by next week when you're at work to grab my stuff. Muted her notifications after that. Ordered some room service. Poured a whiskey. Sat in silence, trying to wrap my head around what had just happened. 3 years. 3 damn years I poured into this woman. And she thought of me as the guy she settled for until someone more exciting came along. Yeah, no thanks. Next morning, I woke up to 37 missed calls and what looked like a full novel in my inbox. Haley insisted I'd misunderstood. Said she loved me. Claimed she was just cracking under the pressure from her mom. Every excuse she could think of. I didn't reply to any of it. Instead, I went back to my place. Thank God I'd never given it up, and spent the day trying to get my head right. Day after that, I picked up the phone and called her sister, Lena. Hey, this is kinda awkward, I said, but I need a favor. I overheard Haley talking to your mom yesterday. She said she's keeping her options open, just in case someone better than me comes along. I'm done. Could you let me know when she'll be at work next week so I can swing by and grab my stuff from her place? There was a pause on the other end. Complete silence. Then Lena finally replied. She actually said that? Yeah, word for word. What a dumb thing to say, she muttered. She's working Tuesday, 9 to 5. I can even come help you move your stuff out if you want. I blinked, a little caught off guard. That's surprisingly kind of you. She sighed. Look, I love my sister, but that was messed up. And I've always thought you were a good guy. You didn't deserve that. Thanks, Lena. I really appreciate it. No problem, she said. Honestly, I think she's an idiot. Tuesday rolled around, and I headed to Haley's place with a couple buddies to collect my things. Wasn't much, just some clothes, my laptop, a few books. I didn't take anything I'd ever given her. Not trying to be petty or anything. We were just about wrapping up when someone knocked on the door. It was Lena. She thought you might need an extra hand, she said. And I wanted to check in, see how you were doing. Haley's a mess, she added after a moment. Not really my concern anymore, I said, still packing boxes. I don't blame you, she replied. If I were in your shoes, I'd have done the same. Once we finished loading up the last of my stuff, Lena asked if I wanted to grab lunch. I hesitated at first, but figured, why not? Beat sitting in silence in an empty apartment. We ended up at a casual little spot nearby and talked for nearly 2 hours. And surprisingly, we didn't talk about Haley. We covered everything else. books we liked, favorite hiking trails, which pizza joint in the city was actually the best. The conversation flowed easily, felt normal, comfortable. As we said goodbye, Lena invited me to join her and some friends for a group hike that weekend. Again, I figured, why not? I needed a distraction anyway. That hike led to another one, then a rock climbing outing, then a concert. All casual, all in groups. No pressure. Just hanging out and having fun. I'll be honest, I had some mixed feelings about spending time with my ex's sister. Definitely not the usual route you take after a breakup. But Lena and I had always gotten along. And now I was starting to see sides of her I hadn't noticed before. Her drive when the trails got tough. The way she patiently coached newbies at the climbing gym. How she could name 100 indie bands without blinking. Turns out, we had way more in common than I'd ever realized during those awkward family dinners. Meanwhile, Haley wouldn't let up. She kept showing up at my apartment building. I had to talk to the front desk and tell them not to let her in. She started calling me from random numbers, sent emails like her life depended on it. Even roped Diana into calling me. Ethan, she made a mistake, Diana said. She loves you. She's crushed. Diana, with all due respect, I said, she didn't make a mistake. She was just being honest about how she really feels, because she thought I wasn't around to hear it. People say dumb things they don't mean. I get that, I told her. But this isn't something we're going to debate. I appreciate the call. Take care. About 3 months after everything blew up, Lena and I were grabbing coffee after a morning run. Something shifted that day. It's hard to describe, but I stopped seeing her as Haley's sister and started seeing her as just Lena. Funny. Genuine. Sharp. Just Lena. I guess I must have been staring at her, because she looked up and said, "What? Do I have something on my face?" I laughed. No. I was just thinking, would it be weird if I asked you to dinner? Like, an actual date? She paused, thinking it over. Yeah, probably. Definitely weird for Haley. But I don't care, if you don't. We talked through it, seriously. About what it might mean for her relationship with Haley, with Diana, the whole family. This wasn't something either of us wanted to walk into blindly. But by the time we finished that conversation, we both felt the same way. It was worth seeing where this might go. That Friday, we had our first real date. Picked a nice restaurant. Talked all night. There was this spark, but also this weird comfort, like something brand new and totally familiar at the same time. When I walked her to her car afterward, she looked at me and said, "You know this is going to stir up some drama, right?" "Probably," I admitted. "But I think it's worth it." She smiled. "Definitely worth it." We agreed we wouldn't go out of our way to hide it, but we also wouldn't plaster it all over the place. Just live life. If Haley found out, she found out. Took exactly 3 weeks. I was in my kitchen making dinner when my phone rang. Haley's number lit up the screen. I'd unblocked her a few weeks earlier, once the flood of messages finally slowed down. Against my better judgment, I picked up. "You're dating my sister?" she screamed. "My sister?" She was yelling so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear. "Hello to you too, Haley. How could you do this to me? It's barely been 5 minutes, and you're already hooking up with Lena." "It's been over 3 months," I said calmly. "And yes, Lena and I are seeing each other." "This is the most pathetic excuse for revenge I've ever seen," Haley snapped. "Are you seriously just doing this to hurt me?" I kept my voice steady. "Not everything revolves around you. Lena and I like spending time together. That's it. Has nothing to do with you." "Bull," she spat. "You're using her to get back at me. Think whatever you want. I don't owe you any explanations anymore." "Well, Mom is furious. This is tearing our family apart again." I let out a breath. "Not my problem. Maybe you should have thought about the consequences before you decided I wasn't good enough, but kept me around anyway." She broke down crying after that. And all I could think about was that day I heard her tell her mom she wasn't ready to commit because what if someone better came along? I'd just come back with groceries, carrying bags up to her place, and caught that whole conversation from the stairs. Didn't barge in. Didn't make a scene. I left the groceries on her kitchen counter, dropped my key next to them, and walked away. Someone better did come along. Her sister. That whole mess? Happened about a year ago. I'm only just now at the point where I can talk about it without getting all heated again. So buckle up, because yeah, it's a wild ride. I'm 33 now. Haley was 30. We'd been dating for a little over 3 years. Met at a brewery opening through some mutual friends and clicked instantly. She was smart, funny, had her life in order. Honestly, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. We didn't live together, not officially, but we might as well have. She had a drawer at my place. I kept a few changes of clothes, toiletries, and odds and ends at hers. We spent most nights together, usually at her apartment since it was closer to both our jobs. We even had keys to each other's places. Pretty standard serious but not settled down yet arrangement. By last December, things had gotten, well, real. We'd met each other's families. Talked about the future a few times. I was already quietly planning to propose in the spring. Felt like the next step. Haley's folks lived about an hour outside the city. Her mom, Diana, was a bit nosy, sure, but she was mostly kind to me. Lena, her younger sister, was 27 back then. Outdoorsy, athletic, a personal trainer who could talk to anyone about anything. I'd met her a bunch at holidays and birthdays, but we never hung out one-on-one. Just friendly chit-chat. Their dad had passed away when they were teenagers, so the three of them, Haley, Lena, and Diana, were a tight little unit. Anyway, one weekend we drove out to Diana's place for her birthday. Haley wanted to cook a special dinner but forgot a few ingredients. I offered to make the store run since it was snowing and she was already stressing. The nearest decent grocery store was 15 minutes away, and I took my time, double-checking her list, making sure I got everything she needed. I even picked up some flowers for Diana. It was her birthday, after all. When I got back, I parked in their driveway and went in through the garage like usual. They've got this split-level setup. Come in through the garage, walk up a few steps, and you're in the kitchen. The living room's just off to the side, open layout. I was halfway up the steps, groceries in hand, when I heard Diana's voice. "So when is Ethan going to propose?" "You two have been together forever," she added. I stopped, not creeping, just curious what Haley would say. I figured it'd be a playful, "I hope soon," or maybe, "We've talked about it." But nope. "Mom, seriously? Not this again," Haley groaned. Diana pressed on. What? You're not getting any younger. He's a good guy, has a solid job, handles money well, treats you right. And then Haley said it. Yeah, that's all great. But I'm not ready to close doors, you know? What if someone better comes along? Ethan's a good guy, but I don't know if he's my forever guy. I just stood there, frozen on the stairs, arms full of groceries that suddenly felt like they weighed a ton. Diana didn't let it slide. That's a terrible way to think, Haley. You can't treat people like backups. I'm not saying he's a backup. Haley shot back. I don't know. He's safe, reliable. But sometimes I wonder if there's something more exciting out there. That was enough for me. I walked up the rest of the steps in silence, set the bags down on the kitchen counter, flowers too, still in the wrapping, birthday card attached. Took the key to her apartment off my keyring and placed it beside the groceries. Then I turned around, walked back out the door, and drove to a hotel about 20 minutes away. Didn't say a word. Didn't send a text. Just left. My phone started going off about 20 minutes later. Texts, missed calls, the whole works. Where are you? Did you just drop everything and leave? What's going on? Why aren't you answering? I sent one message in return. I heard what you said to your mom. We're done. I'll come get my stuff next week when you're at work. After I sent that last text, I muted Haley's notifications, ordered some room service, poured myself a whiskey, and just sat there trying to wrap my head around it all. 3 years. 3 damn years I'd spent with someone who saw me as the safe bet. The fallback guy. The warm body to keep the seat warm while she waited for someone better. No thanks. Next morning, I woke up to 37 missed calls and enough text messages to fill a novel. Haley went all in, saying I'd misunderstood, that she did love me, that she was only saying those things because of her mom pressuring her. She threw every excuse she could think of at the wall, hoping something would stick. I didn't reply. Instead, I drove home, back to my apartment. Thank God I'd never given it up, even if I spent most nights at Haley's. Gave me space to think, breathe, get my head straight. The day after that, I made a call I never thought I'd make. Lena. Hey. I said. This is awkward, but I need a favor. I overheard Haley talking to your mom yesterday. She said she's keeping her options open in case someone better than me comes along. So we're done. Can you let me know when she'll be at work next week? I want to come by and get my stuff. There was silence on the line for a second. Then, she actually said that? Yeah. What a stupid thing to do. She let out a sigh. She works Tuesday, 9 to 5. I can even come help you if you want. That's surprisingly kind of you. Look, Lena said. I love my sister, but what she said was awful. And I've always thought you were a decent guy. You don't deserve to be treated like that. Thanks, Lena. I mean that. No problem. For what it's worth, I think she's an idiot. So Tuesday rolls around. I bring a couple of buddies with me to Haley's place, just to grab my stuff. Wasn't a whole lot. A few clothes, my laptop and chargers, a couple of books. I left behind anything I'd given her. Gifts, mementos. I wasn't interested in being petty. We were almost done when there was a knock at the door. It was Lena. Thought you might need help, she said. And I wanted to check on you. I shrugged, kept packing. Haley's been a mess, she added. Not my problem anymore. Can't say I blame you. I'd have done the same thing. When we were finished, she suggested grabbing lunch. I hesitated for a second, felt kind of weird, but then I figured, why not? I needed the distraction. We walked over to this casual spot down the street. Nothing fancy. We ended up talking for nearly 2 hours, about everything except Haley. Books we liked, hiking spots around the city, best places to get pizza. It was easy. Surprisingly easy. At the end, Lena asked if I wanted to go on a hike that weekend with her and a few friends. I said yes. Again, why not? I needed something to keep me occupied. That hike led to another one the following weekend. Then we went rock climbing. Then there was a small concert in the park. Always in groups. Always casual. No pressure. No weird energy. Just two people who enjoyed being around each other. I'll be honest. I had some reservations. I mean, hanging out with your ex's sister isn't exactly something people plan to do. It felt unconventional. Maybe even a little wrong at first. But Lena and I had always gotten along. And now, spending time with her like this, I was seeing different sides of her. How determined she was on tough trails. How patient she was helping newbies at the gym. Her ridiculous depth of knowledge about obscure indie bands. Turned out, we had a lot more in common than I ever realized.